We are nearing the end of this season of The Amazing Race, and this week on the race, the teams go to Barbados for the first time on the show, which was super exciting. Also the birthplace of legendary star Rihanna. So things kick off with the first roadblock, which was who wants to get in the swing of things. And I have to say, this looked super fun, and I think I actually would have done this.
Well, as I was watching it, I was like, Blake and I have been playing pickleball.
Yeah,
we could do it.
It's kind of like pickleball, ping pong, whatever, but like a street version in Barbados.
I noticed how lightly they tapped it.
Very light
We're pretty bad about putting a little power behind it.
Yeah, I slam it a little bit too hard. I get all my anger out for the week in pickleball, so I don't know how I would do on the Amazing Race with that. But no, it's really exciting to see. And the whole thing was one half of the duo played one of the locals, and they just had to get 11 points, basically.
Yeah. And what's funny is Juan and Shane, I'm cheering for them this season. I believe it was Juan. He went up when he got there, and he's like, he thought they were coaching, so he's like, who's the best to play with? And Shane was like, no, don't ask him that.
But it didn't end up really hurting them, so it was fine either way. But that was really fun to watch. And honestly, all the teams did pretty good with this, all things considered.
Yeah.
After the roadblock, we see the teams travel to the childhood home of Rihanna, which I thought was super exciting.
It was a cute house.
Really, they're just getting like a route info, kind of like how to get further along in the race. But it was super cute. It was just fun to see that, and that the race kind of honored this pop star in this way, which is super exciting. Then, this is where things get really interesting. So as the teams are heading from, I guess, like Rihanna's house, per se, to the episode's detour, Angie and Danny, who are in, like, second place at this point on the episode, have been killing it the last few episodes.
They have.
They lose their crew, and there's kind of like this golden rule in the race, which they kind of very openly kind of break the fourth wall share, is you cannot lose your crew, and you cannot continue in the challenges until you are reunited with your crew.
Right.
I will say, supposedly, there's a lot more to what we saw in the episode, which I'll get to in a second. But it does kind of end up making them have to kind of fight back in the end, which is really interesting. So we get to the detour, which was on the beach in Barbados, and it was fish pot building or seaweed cleaning. So the fish pot building was basically, you had to take what was like, I don't know, some kind of like wiring, and then...
I would compare it to like a crab cake. You know how you catch crabs in like Maine or something? It was a wire with... rectangle with sticks holding it in place, and it had like a little tunnel where the fish, if they swim in there, they can't get back out.
Yes, and essentially you're just building that contraption and then getting it approved.
You know, that wire's not soft. A lot of people were like slicing their fingers.
All the teams on this episode did this one, except for Juan and Shane, who literally were thinking so smart with this with their strength, because they did the seaweed cleaning and they made it look easy though.
This episode, because they were behind in the whole leg, and then this got them caught up because they powered through it.
And then they ended up getting second place, which is crazy. But no, it was really exciting. And here's the thing, on the beach, it comes down to, I believe it was Rod and Letitia and then Angie and Danny. And you're like, we really don't know what's gonna happen. Here's the thing, Rod and Letitia should have placed higher than they did. However, they kept forgetting the wires on the end of the corners. So every time they went to go get it checked, the guy's like, no. And they were so confused as to why it wasn't working. So it was super interesting. So then we get to the pit stop, and of course, Ricky and Cesar get first again. Someone has to take them out. I need these guys to get something that they are bad at and totally get stumped.
Here's my prediction. They're gonna keep getting first until they'll be in the finale, and then the finale, something's going to trip them up where they fall into the back. That's my prediction.
Here's the thing, I do hope these guys make the finale because I do think they deserve it. However, I like kind of don't want them to win just because they've dominated the whole time.
It's just tiring. They've won 90% of the season so far. It's kind of just like, meh.
It's honestly crazy. So last to the pit stop was mother-son duo Angie and Danny. Which here's the thing, it is kind of sad because you and I were kind of like, man, they're kind of annoying, they're kind of strange at the beginning of the season. Then they really, I don't know if it was the editing or just really how they were on the race, but they really kind of grew on me as a viewer as the season was going on, and they were doing so well. I will say, large in part due to Danny's navigation skills. I've never seen someone navigate like he does on the race.
I was so upset because I want Amber and Vinny gone.
I want them gone too.
They are
so
annoying
toxic.
me so much.
Yeah, but here's the thing. I won't go too deep into it, but I would encourage you to kind of look into online a little bit the Angie and Danny stuff, because there is a lot that has come out about that day. Supposedly, the crew that finally arrived wasn't even the crew that was lost. It was a different one just so they could continue. And then apparently, I read online that there was kind of almost like a fight of sorts at the pit stop between the production team on whether they should just keep them or not, because it was like a production thing that kept them and not like a driving thing or, you know, them just being really bad at a challenge. So it caused a lot of controversy apparently. And when I spoke to them, they seemed at ease with it because this season was filmed almost 2 years ago, but they definitely were like, it was heartbreaking that that's what got us out.
Yeah, that's crazy. I wonder,
So there's a lot to it. I don't know. It's very interesting, but here's the thing. So there's 5 teams left. Okay, so we're like a week or 2 away from finale. And I just really don't know who I think is going to win. Because, like, the obvious thing is, like, maybe Ricky and Cesar, but really it's anyone's game still, you know? I just will have to say, no shade, but all the shade also. I really hope Amber and Benny don't win.
No, I hope they're not in the finale.
Anyone else
I hope they're gone next week. I think that what Ricky and Cesar's advantage has been is that Cesar is Hispanic, and they've been in these Hispanic-speaking countries.
Yeah.
And so I think that with my prediction, that they'll go back to the final leg in the U.S.
Yeah.
And, you know, I know they're from the U.S., but that might just not be to their advantage at that point, where it makes everybody on a more even playing field.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm interested to see how this plays out, but The Amazing Race, Tuesdays right here on CBS. Check it out. And Ozarks Live will be right back.